Hi, good evening. This is Toastmaster Darshan, and I'm here today to show you how do you create an infographic using the PowerPoint tool. So having learned the basics from Toastmaster Neha, let's look at it. How do you actually use a tool as simple as PowerPoint, which we use in day-to-day activities to create an infographic? So what you see on my screen right now is a simple infographic which has a mix of information in terms of text, in terms of 3D effect, the graph, charts, some icons which give information, and then logos where the event was held, etc., etc. So this infographic was created not only to talk about what high performance leadership is, but also post-event, who attended, what type of clubs attended, what was the discussion around, was there a guidance committee, what is the link to the registration, and so on and so forth. So in next few minutes, let's look at how do you create infographic from the tool PowerPoint. So I'm going to create this one right from the scratch and give you some steps and an idea how do you create similar infographics using PowerPoint. All right, to begin with, I'll just go to Insert and Shape and have a normal pentagon shape inserted here, something like this. This is essentially used to create some text on it. So, okay, once I have this, you know how you can always copy paste and bring into different forms and then color them. So if you make them into different colors from Format tool, something what you are going to look at will be like this. So I know that I'm going to have 5 important points and therefore these 5 pentagons with 5 different colors. So the next step would be obviously to add some text on these, which is the main purpose to have these elongated pentagons. So I just copied the text from my another machine and I'm just going to paste them here. Now you see all these have some text. Now each of these texts represents something else. First one represents what, and then who, when, why, how. So how do you represent that? You create again insert a shape and give this shape certain outline, and you can use one of the presets from the system or go and create a shadow out there. So let's say I do this and I bring this to here. Now the idea is to give a 3D effect from the 2D effect, so you have to create another shape which blends with this and gives you a 3D effect. Now if you observe, this particular area becomes a cube, which is a 3D cube, and you can see it is slightly embossed out of the actual pentagon shape that was created. Now once you have this, you can copy and then paste them onto different pentagons and then go ahead and use the format and change the color to what you want. So now you see that you have what, why, and all. So for simplicity, I actually created in the interest of time, and I'll just quickly bring this over for you to see how it looks like. You also have the shadows right there, which will give this embossed look. Now this is fine. However, if you observe, there is still a missing element here, that you can see the curved shape of the pentagon, but it would be really good if we insert a shape as a rectangular and then just insert it right there so that it gives the effect of the pentagon arrows. When they meet this rectangular shape, they take a bulge out and then become straight again. So if you look at it now, it gives you a little bit of 3D effect. What next? I still have some space here and I want to get some more designs to it. I'll go to Insert, I'll go to Shape and have this shape called chevron created something like this. Now you can have multiple chevrons and then select one of them, right click, go to Format Shape and but then increase the transparency. If you want to bring this here and then bring these here. The idea is to have certain shapes which you can then blend it to give you a more prominent 3D effect. Slightly correcting this one as well. And changing the color. Here you go. Now, the next step would be to have an image in the background, and we are talking about high performance leadership. So I have in mind that what exactly I want to get. I'll go to internet and browse through certain arrows that gives high performance. It should resemble the theme, right? So I go on internet and I browse through and I find something. This is interesting, where different pieces tie up together. There is an arrow and there is a push. That means you really have to scale up. Now, this image is good. However, it is not compatible from the color point of view to my infographic. So PowerPoint gives you an option of format. Go to artistic effect. You can create any artistic effect with, choose any one of these. So what I want to do is, first of all, I want to remove this and make it a black and white image. And then I say, okay, let's do a little bit blurry or a glass effect. And let's say I settle down on this one. So now once you settle on this one, you can always have this image in the background, and what all text, remember you created right here, this can appear in the foreground. Now the moment you right click and say this image to go to background, this is what you can get to. Once you have this information, you can definitely add more information related to what high performance leadership drive is, who presents it, and things like logo. So this information is then brought up. This is a word art that I have used here from format. You can use different forms of word art depending upon, you can have it something like this, which resembles the theme, or you could have something which brings out the color as well. So let's say we settle down to this one. Now what else? Now let's say we talk about the event. How was it? Were there attendees? There were different types of clubs where the activities were discussed. Was TM related or non-TM related, and so on and so forth. So the next step would be to go on internet and then kind of find icons. For example, here I want to create a male and female icon representing how many people attended, right? So you have plenty of them. You can choose one of the PNG formats of the image which you want to bring it up. So let's say I settle down on the icon here and then save it and then go to insert and bring it. I choose a PNG format so that my background doesn't messes up, and then have this information here. Next, I want to bring the different club types, and one of the chart would be a great idea to bring it here. I download an icon for the pie chart. Then I would want to bring information related to what kind of activities were discussed. So something which resembles two colors. So this fits into the context I'm talking about. Then since I have been talking about guidance committee and the feedback is involved, so I will bring an icon that shows there is a feedback loop and there are people who will help you to have through and through discussion. The next step would be to get the information related to the registrations, because registrations are up. So you might want to bring something that gives you the registration link. Now, all this is good. However, the context comes in when you really have text associated with each of them. So on the next slide, I have written text to each of these elements or icons that we bring. And now if you see, it makes more sense that there were attendees, out of which 10 were female, 30 were male, and then there were corporate clubs attending community clubs and college clubs. The activity was related to TM for black, and this orange represents non-TM related activity was also discussed. Guidance committee, and then registrations are open. So at this point in time, you will see that we spoke about in the first section of the infographic what exactly it is and the 5 W's of HPL, and then we talked about the event. Now, we can bring in certain other information what is relevant, but for the purpose of today's infographic, I'm going to bring information like what are the 5 major steps to attend an infographic, and who sponsored this and where was it conducted. So the 5 major steps would be to attend a meeting and then understand HPL, set your goals, and take help from the TMs, which are the guidance committee, and pursue your HPL, right? So to pursue your HPL, you have to go and register your HPL. You bring this content and then do the color coding that blends well with your theme. Next, I would want to go and bring in the logo of divisions E and FH that sponsored this event, and the next step would be to insert a shape. Let's say I want to go with a teardrop and say, okay, this was conducted at so and so place. So you have an option to, in the teardrop, to change the shape. But if you look at this, this is quite dark in color. I want to format the shape and increase the transparency so that it blends with the actual theme. And then I would want to write the text here, where was this conducted, and things like that. So if I write this, this will be something like Jan 8, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Tech Mahindra. Now, if you look at this, completes the overall infographic. It gives the information in 3D form. It gives icons and images and charts which talk about different segment of the HPL, and then what are the major 5 steps, who sponsored it, when and where. So essentially, this has a lot of text. However, the text has been converted into different formats depending upon which format is convenient, and then it has been brought together on PowerPoint as a tool to create the final infographic. And then you have to go and save as. Once you save as, you can browse and then go to option as PNG. And system will ask you, do you want to export all the slides? You say, no, just this one, which is the final slide. And once you save, this becomes an image. And right now, what I have opened is an image format. So this was it. Hope you enjoyed this. Toastmaster Pawan and Toastmaster Neha will take you further on the infographic session. Thank you so much.